Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Talk with Hawk. Today, we start one of the last 3 snapshots we have in the snapshot series. Today, it's the Washington Commanders. I was right. Yes, I'm thrilled about it. I was right. Jaden Daniels was the quarterback to draft, and he proved every bit why he should be Rookie of the Year. And he proved every reason why this franchise wants to put the future in his hands. I love what this team has. I love what they can do. Let's check out what the future holds. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back in. Here we go with the Washington Commanders, a team that is really exciting. Really looking forward to what they can do here in the future. So, when I look at everything here, what really happens, really simply, is they had a bunch of cap space already. I mean, $89 million to start with, plus they have the cap jump. So they roughly have $110 million in cap. This team is young. This team isn't paying a bunch of people. And it did end up rearing its ugly head in the playoffs at the end of the year. But this team is set up. Spend $60 million this year. Spend $40 million the year after that. The next 2 years, you can spend $100 million, and I think you're going to be set up for a team that is really going to be a pain in the Philadelphia Eagles side. And we got the Eagles snapshot. It's 2 days away. Tomorrow is the Ravens. Saturday is the Eagles. And then Sunday, I still am planning on doing the live. It'll probably be a 1-hour stream. Once it's confirmed, I'll actually schedule it on YouTube as a stream. And we're going to go down the list of free agents. A bunch of them have happened. Today, we talked yesterday about how it was genius that the Bears sent a 2026 fifth-round pick to the Chiefs for Joe Thuney. Well, today, the Texans sent a 2026 seventh-round pick that wasn't even their own. It was from the Rams for Christian Kirk. And the Jaguars released Evan Ingram. And Mitch Morse, their center, retired. So Jacksonville is moving the cap space around. Trey Hendrickson today got told he can seek a trade. I told you that was what was going to happen. I can't believe it. That is the dumbest thing in the world. But now Trey Hendrickson's on the market too. And guess what? That's who needs to go get him. The Washington Commanders are in the running for Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson. I like both options here. But before we get too far ahead into 2025, let's look at 2024. Finished second in the division. I picked them to make the playoffs. I said they have the pedigree with Dan Quinn, the head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, Jaden Daniels, the best quarterback in the draft, in my opinion. I called it. He would be the best quarterback in the draft. I love where this went. They played within themselves. They had a little bit of a golly, but they were learning. They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost to Baltimore. They lost to Philly the first time on a Thursday night game. Then they come back. Yeah, I know. Hurts got injured. The rest of the team didn't get completely taken out. Like, give me a break. A comeback is a comeback. That takes mental fortitude and the ability to keep playing football. And this team has it. So what did 2024 say about the Washington Commanders? They were 7th in total offense, 17th in passing, and 3rd in rushing. Now, I understand that Jaden Daniels is a huge part of that rushing. I do understand that. But that was the same for the Atlanta Falcons and Michael Vick when they drafted him. And really, the early years of Donovan McNabb, Dante Culpepper, Big Ben had a lot of that. Let's not jump on it just because, the quarterback's running. So is Bo Nix for Denver. So is Drake May for New England. These guys have that ability. It's a dual threat quarterback, but a guy that can absolutely rip the ball through the air. 17th in passing, 3rd in rushing, 7th total. So they averaged 370 yards total offense, 216 through the air, and 154 on the ground. And they averaged scoring 29 points per game, not too shabby. For a first-year head coach, first-year offensive coordinator, first-year quarterback, rookie quarterback. But the defense is where they're going to focus. I know there's going to be some holes, and we'll get to that in a second. But defensively is where they're going to focus. They were 13th in total defense. 3rd against the pass, so definitely not bad against the pass. But they were 30th against the run. And they got to shore that up. Now, they had their big guys, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, both were injured. The big guys, the defensive tackles, the run stuffers were hurt. So they averaged allowing 328 yards total in a game, 190 through the air. That's dang good. And then 138 yards on the ground, and they allowed 23 points per game. Their turnover differential was +1. +1. You made the playoffs. They got 7 interceptions, so definitely need to up that. But they also got 10 fumble recoveries. So they did average 1 takeaway per game. And they threw 9 interceptions and had 7 fumbles lost. So what does the future hold for this bright, young, upstart team in the NFC? Hallelujah, we've got a young team in the NFC that looks like it's got its ducks in a row. Really simple. $110 million in cap space. They already today re-signed Bobby Wagner to a 1-year deal. I think that was important. I know there's a lot of people that are like, he got attacked in the playoffs and he's getting old. Yes, they re-signed him to be a veteran on the defense. He knows if he can't play to the same level, he knows that. He is there for a veteran leader on the defense because Jonathan Allen will probably end up getting released unless they find a trade partner for him. That is injury-based, I believe. They want to get younger. Doris Armstrong, the free agent end that they signed last year, nothing wrong with Armstrong. They need their defensive tackles back. They need they need a corner. Lattimore is huge. Lattimore versus A.J. Brown was really fun to watch. Lattimore versus Amon-Ra St. Brown was fun. This team has some pieces. So just imagine, and they could, because Cincinnati has been snaked so many times. What if they could get Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson? Now I know what you're thinking, but neither one of those are defensive tackles. Correct. In Dan Quinn's defense, he used Micah Parsons kind of as a tweener. You could have those three, Hendrickson, Armstrong, and Garrett, with a defensive tackle. And I think you'd be one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. They have the 29 pick in the draft. If I'm the Commanders, I'm actually trading out of there. I'm trying to get some more picks. I got a full, bevy of picks. I got 7 picks in this draft. I'm not short any picks, but I'd get some more. I want to go younger. I'd even go for 2026. I love what some of these teams are doing. They're not trading away this year. They're trading away 2026. The way that this is going to play out, like Sam Cossi, the outstanding guard for the Commanders, hopefully he comes back. They do need a little bit of help on the offensive line, but there's going to be guys available now to do it. So I think you got to balance what you're going to do. Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson, when it came down to it, they both struggled. I think you draft a running back. You may let Eckler walk, potentially, or trade him for a 6th-round pick in 2027. Who knows? But they got 30 free agents. Now they only have 29 because they did sign Bobby Wagner today. But let's look at the rest of them. So, backup quarterback, Marcus Mariota, Jeremy Chin, the safety. I think they need to re-sign him. He's only 27. Definitely need to re-sign him. KJ Osborne, Cleveland Farrell, I'd let him walk. 28 years old. You're moving away from what's going on. Tress Way, the punter, probably going to retire. He's 35. We'll see. Dante Fowler's a free agent. Michael Davis, the corner's a free agent. Zach Ertz will be brought back. I do fully believe he'll be brought back. He was a big-time target for Jane Daniels, and they'll give Ben Sano another year to kind of grow. Michael Dieter, the guard. Trenton Scott, the tackle. Jamison Crowder, he's been around the league now a little bit lately. De'Ami Brown and Zacchaeus also are both free agents. So is Benjamin St. Juste. So is Noah, the corner. And then let's see, second page, Noah Brown's a corner. Sheldon Day, the tackle, is a corner. Is a free agent. Sorry, not a corner. They did re-sign Zane Gonzalez today, though. So that they did do. They did re-sign Zane Gonzalez to be their kicker. And that is it. So they got some role players they're definitely going to have to replace. But by and large, they're looking good. And when you've got $110 million in cap space, the out-of-the-box idea is really just be aggressive. Like this team, I know Adam Peters, he knows what this is going to take. They already brought in Deebo Samuel. So you lose De'Ami Brown, you lose Noah Brown, you lose Zacchaeus, you lose KJ Osborne. Okay. Now, I would resign KJ Osborne. I would. I like his speed. I really do think he's a really useful guy. I may resign De'Ami Brown the way that he was connecting with Jaden Daniels. But they're already being aggressive. They went and they got Deebo Samuel for a 5th-round pick. They're already being aggressive. So now you've got Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel on the outside. And let's just be honest, that is a fortifying receiver duo. If you get Zach Ertz back, the tight end position is filled. Now, I do think Ertz does have injury issues. So if they were to draft a tight end or just run with Sano, because I think Sano will be just fine. If they were to run with that, I think it'd be okay. I do believe you need a 3rd tight end. So I would draft one probably in the 6th round. You got to get your offensive line figured out, though. And you can do that easily. George Fant got released from the Seahawks. He would be an upgrade at tackle. I would sign George Fant. You can redo this offensive line pretty quick. And I do know that Dan Quinn is looking. He's been there. He had one of the better offensive lines when he was at Atlanta. He watched one of the better offensive lines at Dallas. He just got beat by the best offensive line, Philly, who then annihilated Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear about defensive coaches not being able to build an offensive line or not caring to. No, it's the individual. It is the individual. Go back, and this is what debunks this myth. Go back to Bill Belichick, Rex Ryan. They built some of the best offensive lines. They understood the need for it. The problem with Tomlin in Pittsburgh is he's oblivious. The guy has no clue. He's a great motivator. I love him as a player coach. But he's not really that great of a coach. Just look at it. His team kind of coaches and plays without him. You start thinking about it. Watch how the team actually goes on. The team is built. We did this in the snapshot. They are run so well. It covers up a lot of issues. So, with that being said, I think Dan Quinn will address the offensive line. They may make a trade to get an offensive lineman. I would absolutely go after Trey Hendrickson or Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's going to have a lot of suitors. I think Trey Hendrickson may be a better option for Washington. I really think it may be the better option for Washington, the way that Dan Quinn plays. He may be a little bit, well, no, he won't be cheaper. Max Crosby reset the market. So these guys are going to be expensive either way. But with Deebo Samuel, bring in 2 offensive linemen, shore up the offensive line a little bit, draft a running back because Robinson's injured, Eckler's injured. I'd let Eckler go. I love him as a receiving back, but doggone it, we got so many backs in this draft. Let him go. Jonathan Allen's going to be released. Daron Payne hopefully will be back strong, ready to play next year. Build up that offensive line. Get 2 pieces on the offensive line. Get 2 pieces in the secondary. Help for Lattimore, and then a nickel corner as well. Make the moves. The secondary just got really strong. This secondary class is actually really strong. Corner is outrageously strong. The cornerback position in free agency is outrageously strong. You can get guys, and we know this, and for those of you that don't like video games, I'm sorry, but here's the reality. And I was just watching the documentary on John Madden and EA Sports of It's in the Game, from the documentary about the Madden football series, the Madden video game. Here's what the reality is, whether some of you like it or not. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, DeMeco Ryans, Cliff Kingsbury. These coaches, Kevin O'Connell, they all played Madden. You want to know how they know how to design plays? Madden helped design those plays. You may not like it, but Madden is what we've all played. And for those of us that don't just play Madden, but we actually dissect Madden, playing the game within the game. For those of us that do that, not competing for millions of dollars, not trying to find every glitch there is, but learning football, that's why we understand it so well. John Madden had that as a requirement. That documentary was amazing. And it showed how much Madden cared about making sure that the average Joe could learn football. That's where we were. The players, some players that are getting ready to retire, were interviewing in that documentary saying, that's where I learned football. Lamar Jackson played Michael Vick, and that's when he said, I'm going to be like Vick. You don't understand how big Madden NFL football game mattered to the NFL. That transcends everything the NFL has done. Madden was a part of it. It was huge. Now, where am I going with this? Everybody knows in Madden to build a great defense and a great offense, you don't need 5 guys that are rated 90 overall on defense to have a great defensive line. And you don't need 5 guys over 90 overall on offense to create the best offensive line. You can have 3 guys highly rated, which is 88 or above. And then you can have 2 guys that are rated 82 or 83. And you're going to be one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. That's what we understand. We know how to put a value on a person that is accurate, how to build a team accurately. We know what it takes, the checks and balances of an NFL team. Look, this is clear. 3rd against the pass, 30th against the run. That's a checks and balances. We're going to be really bad here, but we're going to be really strong here. It's give and take when you're building a team. The Commanders are now in year number 2 of building. Right now, go get the pieces to become a consistent. You were 13th best defense this year. Get top 10. You were 7th best offense. Get top 5. Offensive line, build it. We got people in free agency. Corner, you can build it through free agency. The draft is a defensive draft. You can fill the spots in. You can fill in some of the holes. Just do what you need to do. I'd trade. I'd get some more picks in 2026 if I were them. You've got cap this year. Use the cap in a year where cap can be really well used. And then use the draft picks next year as you start getting closer to when Jaden Daniels is going to need his contract. Use the cap wisely. You've got at least 3 more years of free money with Jaden Daniels. Use it. Use it. I love these guys. I picked them to make the playoffs. Everybody called me crazy. I picked them. I told you guys when I was doing my picks, I wanted to pick them over the Lions, but the Lions were my Super Bowl pick, so I couldn't do it. But I told you guys they were not a good matchup for the Lions. I knew they were going to beat the Bucs. I picked them against the Bucs. This team has a really bright future. And because of it being Cliff Kingsbury, I don't see a fall off if they use this correctly. The Deebo Samuel trade, I believe, is huge for them. It gives them a gadget guy that they're going to have to really pay attention to on the defense now. And I like it. I like it. We're only a few days away. Monday is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. And free agency is going to open. We got all these cuts that took place today, everything that's going on. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. We're going to have a lot more cuts tomorrow. On Friday, I think is going to be when everybody does their final cuts so that everybody can start working towards, well, who the heck are we going to sign on Monday? It's a great time. It's one of my favorite times. I say it often. Free agency is one of my favorite times. And that is going to be it for this snapshot. Thursday night, heading into Friday. Have a great Friday. Make it the best Friday you can. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please subscribe, like the podcast, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow with the Baltimore Ravens. Until then, from myself to you, have a great night and have a great Friday. I will see you guys tomorrow night. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. See you guys tomorrow.